Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. And for a very long time, finally I managed to have some time to make a video on Kamen Riders. And today we're going to do Kamen Rider suit tier list. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. We have S, A, B, C, D. D means I hate it. C means I dislike it. B means I don't care much or just not good or bad, just in the middle ground. A means I like it and S means I love it. First we have Kamen Rider Ichigo. Kamen Rider Ichigo is such a cool suit. Sadly it doesn't really stand out for nowadays standards. It feels less cooler than Nigo. I think like the red glow really help a lot. I'm gonna give this one a B because it's not bad at all. It just, I think, just doesn't really look cool anymore. Next is V3, and I think I really like V3 design. I think the color scheme really pops out and make it very different from Ichigo and Nigo, since V3 is supposed to be like Sun Go in a sense, according to the story itself. But I don't think it's really as crazy, so I just gonna give it an A tier. Next is Kamen Rider X. I did not like the design at all. The color scheme is really weird. The design choice is also really weird. But I don't hate it. I think it's fine. Now Amazon. Oh my god, Amazon. Oh man, whoever designed Amazon really need a raise because Amazon design is just really amazing. Like it's a combination between lizard, piranha, and many more creatures. So that's crazy already. And obviously, I'm giving an S tier. Stranger. So I have like mixed feeling for Stranger because at some point I feel like Stranger design is somewhat cool, but at the same time it's kind of look tacky because his armor looks a little bit too big for his body. Like I understand back then they don't really have like enough time, I guess, and also the production is not really as great. But even nowadays they don't really fix the armor. I mean, you just need to make it even a bit smaller to actually fit his body. But no, they just leave it like that, and it's kind of look bad, and it's still tacky. So I'm giving it a B tier. Next is, I believe, Skyrider. I fucking hate this suit. Look at the color design. I don't know what kind of concept they're looking for here. It's like the combination of green and brown doesn't work at all. It's like, it looks weird. It looks like Kamen Rider Shin, but bad. Speaking of which, they don't even put Shin Kamen Rider in here. Like, why? But if Shin Kamen Rider is here, I will put him in S tier because he is the absolute monster and I love it. Next is Kamen Rider Super 1, another one that I actually really like. But I feel like once again with the problem, that's the same as Stronger. The armor plate is too big and looks quite tacky. But at least I think in there's like some movie they actually fixed this issue, so it looks less bigger. So I give it a A tier below V3. Next is Kamen Rider Black. Kamen Rider Black design is just so iconic, there's no way you could say no to it. But I feel like it doesn't deserve an S tier at all. I'm not sure, it feels like it was made to be it sounds super base, but or I mean it sounds super biased, but I really feel like it doesn't deserve an S tier. So I give it a high A tier. Black RX is like the same thing with Black, but a lot better, and I love that they actually make the grasshopper neck. Actually, like he actually have a grasshopper neck shape. But that design alone give a lot of changes to Kamen Rider Black and give his very new and very fresh personality. So I give him above A tier. But once again, they didn't even include Kamen Rider J. Why? Why movie Kamen Riders being put out? Like, they are main riders as well. Come on, bro. I'm gonna rate this tier list as shit. If J or oh yes, Kamen Rider Zoe is also not here. So if Zoe is here, I'm gonna put it C. I don't like the design at all. But if J is here, I'm giving him an A tier. His design looks so clean and give a really fresh vibe and a bit of an alien feeling too. Next is Kamen Rider Kuga. Okay, so Kuga is quite unique to me because I feel Kamen Rider J is during 19 something, I think 1999, and Kuga is during 2000. So the gap between those two series could be just a couple months, and the fact that the design changed a lot is really saying a lot to the designer because they could pull off such amazing design. And I would give Kamen Rider Kuga an A tier above all of the Showa here. For Agito, I don't know, man. I feel like they purposely make him look exactly like Kuga, and also because if I remember correctly, Agito series is basically a sequel to Kuga, but I feel like they don't really have any attachment. But his design is good enough for me to put him above Stronger. Next is Ryuki. Ryuki is somewhat ugly, but I feel like his bulging eye is kind of weird. It's kind of empty at the leg, but if we look at some other pictures of it, like to get a close up, his leg actually not fully empty. It has some design, but it's not really as much. It still feel empty. So I'm giving it a high B tier above Ichigo. Next is Faiz, and Faiz deserve an A tier above all of them here, because Faiz is just so cool. The reason I don't put Faiz in S tier, it's because the concept of Faiz is quite confusing because it's supposedly be a shark. We don't see shark. We only see bugs here, but it's quite simple, and I kind of expect a bit more from Faiz. So like other form of his is an S tier, but this one is just an A tier. Kamen Rider Blade, for Kamen Rider Blade, I feel like they could have do a lot more for the head because the body looks very beautiful. He actually looks super great here because like the combination of royalty, nice, and the card is just solid here, but the head feels like something that came out from the Showa series and doesn't really translate well. So I give him a high B tier. Then there's a lot of B and A's. And now finally S tier have another person to be in, and that is Kamen Rider Hibiki, and I put him above Amazon because Hibiki design is just really different from literally anyone. Like every single Kamen Rider prior to Hibiki is just two-eyed bug monsters or somewhat a bug creature looking design, but Hibiki looks nothing like a bug and give a lot more fresh feelings and vibe to him, and pretty much looks a lot cooler than any of them. He looks so badass that he could kick ass. Sadly, his story and his season is really weird. Next is Kabuto, which I'm really biased, but I'm still putting him below Hibiki because I don't think Kabuto defeats Hibiki in any design. And the reason I put Kabuto in S series once again is because I'm biased and because it's like one of my favorite. It's because it's my favorite Kamen Rider series. So yeah, I'm really just biased about it. And also it just looks cool. And if you didn't know, my favorite insect is Kabutomushi or Rhinoceros Beetle. So looking at Rhinoceros Beetle in some sort of armored hero design really just give me a feeling of S tier. Next is Den-O. Den-O is an A tier above, I think above Featurionti. And the reason I think so is basically because I feel like the creativity of Kamen Rider Den-O design and armor suit is just really great because they managed to make a peach into some sort of design that is quite beautiful, and really just unique in a way. Like Den-O suits are really unique and creative in a lot of ways, but I feel like it's really doesn't do as much as the others, so I'm putting it in A tier. Next is Kiva, easy S tier. Kiva looks so epic, bro. There's no way you look at this and then think that it's epic. His final form, his normal form, everything about Kiva looks awesome. But once again, he still defeats against Hibiki because Hibiki just looks way cooler. Next is Decade, which I don't really understand what the concept of Decade on the suit is, but he still look cool and he deserves an A tier above 5s. I really can't explain much about Decade, but I would say that I like that his face is like a card that put together, so that's pretty cool. W design is something else. He is so simple. And that's not like an insult or something. It's more of a like compliment because they managed to make something simple look so badass. But it's not enough to give me more than just a B tier. Next is O's. O's is also a kind of like mixed bag. O's looks amazing and all, but I feel like the combinations kind of doesn't work because as we already know, like everything else about O's already good, but his chest plate, I feel like they could done better in terms of design because every single one at least looks like they connect to each other, but Takatora Bata just not connect, and it's supposed to be the definition of these three coin wounds supposed to be together, but somehow they connect together because they like combine power or something. Give it an A tier below Super One. Pose, okay. Many people like Pose, and there's nothing wrong with that, but not me. Sorry, just not me. I feel like his design is really weird. I feel like the idea of the rocket as the head is genius enough, but his whole body is very plain. But come on, what can you do with a concept of a space, you know, and spaceship? Not much really. But I feel like they should put a lot more rockets. Next is Wizard. Oh my god, Wizard is an S tier, but I don't think he deserves above anyone else in S tier. Wizard design is such amazing in terms of just the choice of material that they choose, because prior to Wizard there's no like armor which is glittering or sparkling or translucent. So the only person or the only Kamen Rider that have already done that is Wizard, and Wizard looks cool doing it. And the robe or some sort of cloak design to his body is also really cool. Next is Gaim. Gaim is also a mixed bag. There are part of me that think he looks pretty cool, but there are also a lot of part of me who's saying that his design is quite a bit weird in the wrong way. Because not just because he's a fruit samurai, I mean like I get over that a long time ago. But to be honest, the idea of fruit samurai is just so random, but works so well and looks pretty cool. It would just show that the writer or the designer really nail it in terms of designing. But I feel like they could have done better with this, so I would give him a high B tier. Next is Drive. There's really not much you could say about Drive. It's not even an insult, but really you don't really have much to say on Drive. His design is done so well, yet you don't really know what to compliment or complain at him. Really don't. There's nothing that you can complain. But I guess I can complain one thing is that creative thought of using a car light as his eyes, because usually they could just make normal eyes like the other people, but they decide to make a car eyes for him. So yeah, I give him a low A tier. Ghost, I don't know why people, I guess because the series, because Kamen Rider Ghost series is just suck overall. But his design is really great. I give him a high A tier just because of how cool he looks. And it's so creative and also not using so much money. And as we know, Kamen Rider Ghost is the time where Toei doesn't really want to use a lot of money. Like this is like a budget season for the whole year. Yet they pull some cool things with it. There's also like Kamen Rider Ghost also the first ever Kamen Rider suit who have like transparent parts as the main body part. Like his body is kind of invisible, which trying to replicate Ghost design, but doesn't really work. But still looks cool, and also it light up in the dark. Awesome as hell. Next is X8. No, as much as I love the show itself, X8 design is just ugly as fuck, man. I cannot defend X8 in any way. Bill is amazing as fuck. I give him an S tier. Just because he's an S tier. There's really not much for you to say. It's like Kamen Rider W done far better and with much more creativity going on. It really shows that they really put a lot of thoughts in Kamen Rider build design, especially on the eyes part, because they could just do a simple thing with his eyes, but they decided to put a rabbit head on its eye and a tank shooter thingy, and it looks so well. And I like that it's not like normal. It's not simple as Kamen Rider Double, like split into two. It's like some part of it go here, some part of it go here. So it's like much more creative. Next is Zio, and as much as I love Kamen Rider Zio, I don't think he is further than A tier. I feel like he doesn't really have any special things going on, nor does he have anything wrong with him. It's just I feel like, you know, he doesn't really have any special thing. And to be honest, I feel like Geats looks far better in design. 01 is also, I feel like I don't really feel like I don't like 01 design as much as other people does. He really looks like modified and modernized Ichigo, to be honest. Yes, that's kind of an insult. The choice of his color is also quite weird, because I really thought that his color is yellow as many people does, but he's green. But you don't really see the green until you actually put into the good lighting. So the whole series he looks yellow. Even the effects on like the toys or something looks yellow. Yet they say it's green, which it is green, but you don't really see it until you actually like trying to focus on it. So yeah, it's kind of like poor choice of colors. You know what? That's enough for me to put it on C tier, but I think it's better than Forza, so, and probably better than X. This one is really bugging me because I really love Saber design. Sadly, Saber series does not pick me up. I know a lot of people like Saber series. I don't like Saber series. I kind of like hate it at some point. So if we're ranking the suits here, I would definitely drop him in S tier, and this is gonna be a big compliment, but he is above my favorite Kamen Rider.